of the Almighty be with you. May the peace of the Almighty guide and protect you. May the peace of the Almighty show you the right path to follow. May the peace of the Almighty give you whatsoever thing you're looking on earth. And may the peace of Almighty bless your hustle, especially with us here on YouTube. That is not easy at all. I hope we all are keeping safe from COVID-19 as usual, because like I used to say, COVID-19 is one terrible thing that has happened in our generation. We are glad that the vaccines rollout are going on and people are getting the shots. We really thank God for that. So we are going to discuss today about menopause, and it's an interactive show, even though I'll be talking more, but please feel free to keep your question in the chat about menopause. Feel free to keep your question in the comment section for those who may be watching later, or if you would like to keep a question in the comment section, you keep it. We'll actually come back to it, see how we can answer you. Yeah, thank you very much. So menopause actually is the cessation of menstruation. Menopause is when a woman has stopped menstruating. This actually, for you to know that someone has attained menopause, there is a period of time that that this cessation has to take place. It therefore means you stop menstruating for a period of time. That is when you're considered to be at your menopause. It's not like if you stop flowing for maybe a month or two, then you're actually in menopause now. So there's a period of time, and that period of time is 12 months. 12 months. So if you stop flowing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months, then you can be considered to have attained menopause. We need to take note here that there are people who can stop flowing for 3, 4 months, 5 months. But there are some special situations, special conditions, because somebody might be sick and there is a cessation for a very long period of time, maybe even for 12 months as well. And at that time, you can't say that that person is experiencing menopause. So we need to be clear. So this does not actually include somebody who has maybe a health condition that's causing her not to menstruate. So we are talking here about you're healthy, you're fine, strong, but you can't menstruate for a period of 12 months. So you're considered to have attained menopause. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Normally during menopause, you're not fertile. Normally during menopause, menstruation actually stops. Yeah. So because normally if you don't menstruate, generally when you don't menstruate, your fertility is not really at its peak. So menopause signifying that if you're not menstruating, therefore means you are not fertile. Therefore means your fertility is zero, almost zero. In cases if it is menopause is zero already, but if it is maybe like you're fine but it's just a cessation of menstruation, then it is almost zero, because when you don't menstruate during that time, the likely probability is that your egg is not being released. But it doesn't mean that if you don't menstruate, it is not a guarantee that your egg is not released, please. But if you don't menstruate, there is the probability that your egg is not being released. Not in all cases that your egg is not being released. In some cases, you're not menstruating, but you're still fertile. You still have your egg being released. In the case of menopause, you're not menstruating, and your fertility is almost zero or zero. Therefore means you're not fertile. So we'll be moving through some points here in which we want that every other lady should take note of these points and see how we can actually develop these points together. So the very first point here is, at what age do women actually menstruate? At what age? What age do women actually attain menopause? At what age? So the age limit here, the age range here is between 45 to 55. So generally, when you're 45, right up to 55, you attain menopause. Now we are not saying that everybody between 45 to 55 must attain menopause, but in general terms, menopause is between 45 to 55. We need to also understand here that it will also depend on what, on the genetics. It also depends on genetics and family history as well. In some families, you might attain menopause a little bit earlier than in other families. So if, let me say, your mom attain menopause at maybe 50, and your other maybe elderly siblings attain theirs probably at maybe 48, then there is that probability that you will be attaining puberty, sorry, menopause at 48, 49, 50 as well. So the age here will depend on your family history as well. So it is not only the fact that that is the age, but that is the age limit in which you will likely attain menopause. The next thing is that, what is the difference between menopause and perimenopause? I don't know if you've heard about the word perimenopause before. If you're watching, you've heard about perimenopause before, please just indicate with a yes. If you're watching and you've heard of perimenopause, please just put a yes. If you're watching at the moment and you've heard of the word perimenopause before, please just indicate yes. Okay, certainly not. Okay, perimenopause is just the onset of menopause. So it is like the transition to menopause. So when you're perimenopause, you are almost at menopause. It therefore means you're about reaching menopause. So during that period, you will be getting the menopausal signs and symptoms, which are hot flashes, and probably maybe you have dizziness, you have bone tenderness, which you might be having difficulty standing for long, which these are all signs of menopause. But it is during perimenopause that you experience most of these major signs and symptoms. Yes, it's during perimenopause that you experience most of these major signs and symptoms. And perimenopause is different from menopause itself, because the cessation of your menses or menstruation could be temporal, right? So you have irregular menstruation in which you menstruate, and this other month you have to skip maybe for 2 months and it comes back just like that. It's telling you that you're moving towards menopause. It's telling you you're moving towards menopause. But why menopause is when you're unable to menstruate for up to 12 months. That is 1 year. When you're unable to menstruate for up to 1 year. So that's menopause. But for perimenopause, you have irregular menses, you have these signs and symptoms of menopause, that is hot flashes, you have dizziness, you have bone tenderness, but you do not stop menstruation. Perimenopause does not stop menstruation, but it tells you that you are moving towards menopause. So that is the two major differences between perimenopause and menopause. What you also need to understand about menopause is that when you are on chemotherapy, when you are on chemotherapy, you can actually accelerate your your route towards menopause. It therefore means that if you're on chemotherapy, if you were to attain menopause at maybe 45, 50, it becomes earlier just because you're on chemotherapy. Chemotherapy here, we are talking about cancer treatment. So if you're on cancer treatment, you can easily attain menopause. You attain menopause much earlier than someone who is not on cancer treatment. Another thing that can make you to attain menopause earlier is smoking. So if you smoke, you'll see here smoking is really dangerous. We have talked about smoking many times. We've talked about smoking many times. Yeah. So smoking will actually affect you here for ladies that are maybe above 40. Please, you need to take special note. If you're above 40 years as a lady, know that if you smoke, you can actually reduce or increase your rate of attaining puberty. Therefore means you attain puberty earlier than someone who doesn't smoke. So this has to like ring a sound in your ear so that you can improve upon this. And if you're a smoker, maybe you you stop, right? You stop, you stop. So the next thing that we are going to discuss about menopause is what are the signs? What are the signs of menopause that are related to estrogen reduction? Now, during menopause, you have a reduction in estrogen, you have a reduction in progesterone as well. Estrogen here and progesterone are major hormones of the female reproduction. So for the female reproductive cycle, you have major hormones, and estrogen and progesterone are part of these hormones. Hey, sis Ngang Beauty, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. This one you join me today, so welcome, oh sis, welcome, welcome. So during the reproductive cycle of a woman, the reproductive cycle of a woman is made up of a lot of hormones. It's made up of follicle stimulating hormone. It's made up of estrogen hormone. It's made up of thyroid stimulating hormone. It's made up of prolactin hormone. So these are major hormones that are within the female reproductive cycle. When talking about menopause, the hormones that have been affected here are two major hormones, which are estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen and progesterone hormone. So this estrogen and progesterone hormone, they are the hormones that will actually drop down, and when they drop down, they lead you now to menopause. So if you do the hormone level, if you run the hormone test for someone who has attained menopause, you will see that the levels of estrogen will be right down there. The levels of estrogen will be right down there just to confirm to you that this person is at menopause. So because of these hormones, because these hormones are down, because estrogen is down, you're going to have these hot flashes. Now, for those who are getting the word hot flash, I don't think that most of you watching us are getting the word hot flash for the very first time. But if you're getting the word hot flash for the very first time, um, hot flash is sudden rise in temperature. Okay, you just feel unnecessarily heat that is sudden increase in heat in your body. So that's hot flash. This heat actually comes with a lot of difficulties. It may come with dizziness. It may even come with heart palpitation. So, and this hot flash is mainly when your estrogen level has gone down due to what? Due to the presence or the signaling of this menopause. So when menopause is coming, you'll see estrogen level dropping, and this estrogen level, when it drops down, it causes you to have this hot flash. And hot flash is the major sign of menopause. Yes, when you see hot flash, then there is a likely probability that you're going to attain menopause in a short space of time. So the next thing is, what can you do when you experience hot flash? What can you do? What can you do? So as ladies, we're actually talking about menopause, which is the cessation of menstruation, cessation of menses. And we'll say for you to have menopause, for you to attain menopause, is generally between 45 right up to 55 years. And the cessation of menstruation has to be constant consecutively for 12 months. So if you have cessation for 12 months, then there is a likely probability that you are experiencing menopause. So we are going to look at one of the major signs of menopause, which is hot flash, how you can actually overcome hot flash. Hot flash is a terrible symptom of menopause, terrible sign of menopause that will cause you to be in a very difficult situation. So how can you overcome it as lady? How can you overcome it? Yes, sis, for real, for real. So if you're a smoker, if you're a smoker, then you need to stop smoking. If you drink a lot of alcohol, you need to stop it. So these are things that's going to help you avoid the danger, the worsening situation of hot flash. So alcohol drinking, so you stop alcohol or you reduce it to the barest minimum. But the best way possible for you to stop alcohol. The next thing is for you to you reduce consumption of spicy food. Okay. So reduce consumption of spicy food. So this is interesting because with our generation now, we want to eat our food, we want it to really be spicy. So please reduce the consumption of it if you really want to reduce this hot flash that is so devastating, because hot flash is not a good symptom at all. It's not a good symptom at all. So please reduce spicy food, reduce alcohol. You have to avoid being under places that are very warm. It therefore means if your house is hot, then you need a fan. Okay, you need a fan. The fan will help you actually reduce overheat. Then you also exercise regularly, do regular exercise. This will help you to reduce hot flash. Because this hot flash you're talking about For those who are above 50, they will testify that they have gone through this, and it's not a good scenario. It's not a good scenario. Yeah, it will really cause you to be sick, and you will even go to the hospital just because of it. But nonetheless, that's why we are actually giving you things that you can do to reduce this devastating sign of menopause. So exercise is very important, that you do regular exercise during this period to reduce hot flash. So do your regular exercises, okay? Yes, do regular exercises, and this is going to help you first of all for other things, even the bone mass, because remember your bone mass is reduced due to loss of calcium. Estrogen, which actually reduces during menopause, causes your calcium level to drop. Because of this drop in calcium level, you're going to experience bone tenderness. Therefore, you might have difficulty standing for long just because of it. So exercise is going to help you for hot flash. That is a sign of menopause, and it's also going to help you in maintaining your density. That's the bone density. So it's going to help you to maintain that bone density. So you see that exercise is going to help you in several ways, not just in one direction. So the next point about menopause that we all need to take is what we are just from talking about. How does it affect your bone? How does it affect your bone? So we said that during menopause, your estrogen level drops. Because of this drop in estrogen level, it causes your calcium absorption to also be less. Therefore, meaning you have less calcium in your bone. Because of this less calcium, you have bone tenderness, and because of this bone tenderness, you'll feel difficulty standing for a very long time, right? You feel difficulty standing for a very long period of time. Because of these difficulties you're facing, this condition is actually called osteoporosis. Okay, so once all of this happen, you see that your bone is affected. Therefore means menopause actually affect your bone indirectly, right? That you love spicy food only from your name. From your name, it shows that you really love the spicy food. So in order to maintain this bone mass, what can you do? What can you do? So you need to eat food with lots of calcium, right? Such as dairy products. Spice it up with onadia. You need to eat more of dairy products. Okay, forget about this, your spicy food. Eat more of dairy products. Consume vitamin D supplements. Okay, consume vitamin D supplement. Exercise regularly, like we've said, is part of it. Reduce alcohol. Reduce alcohol. So you see that all of this will help you help your bones to actually be a little bit stronger compared to if you just mismanage it. Because menopause, perimenopause, right up to menopause, is a period of time which we all need to manage and manage the condition no matter how it is. So the next thing to take into consideration about menopause is the relationship between heart disease and menopause. Yes, the relationship between heart disease and menopause. So conditions related to your heart may arise during menopause, such as what? Dizziness or cardiac palpitation. All right, we have dizziness or cardiac palpitation. watch your weight, eat a healthy diet that is also balanced, exercise regularly, which is what we'll be talking about, avoid smoking, because all of these conditions, they all can increase what your chances of you getting into menopause faster or worsening the condition. So that is why we all need to take note about. So the heart here is affected. It's affected because of the palpitation that arises from menopause. So during menopause, will you gain weight or lose weight? That's the next point. Will you gain weight or lose weight? So you will see that during menopause, you're going to gain weight. You're going to gain weight, right? You're going to gain weight because normally for age, menopause is something that is directly proportional to your age. You cannot attain menopause that you are still very young, right? So, but the fact that it is directly related to your age, it therefore means you will likely gain weight just because of the fact that, first of all, it is directly related to your age. So you will likely gain weight. So that's the first thing. Then, for the fact that menopause has a lot of things to do with the bone marrow, that is calcium absorption. If your calcium level is dropping, it therefore means that you are likely at menopause. So because of that, you're likely to gain weight. So you're likely to gain weight during menopause. You're likely to gain weight. That is why exercise is very necessary. That is why controlling your diet is very necessary. That is why taking balanced diet is also necessary. The next point that we should take note about concerning menopause is do you think the same symptoms that were experienced by your mom, your sisters, your friends, do you think these symptoms will be the same that you are going to actually experience? What do you think? Do you think the symptoms that were experienced by your mom, your sisters, your friends, do you think you will experience the same symptom? If you think so, please let me know in the comment section. Bilkis, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. I don't know if it's Bliskis, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Spice it up. You're asking what happened to men above 50. I don't know if your question is about the general health of men. If it's about the general health of men, obviously we cannot exhaust this time to talk about that. But every human, as you're getting old, your bone mass generally reduces. That is why for ladies, menopause makes it worse. Okay, so your bone mass reduces. That is why you need more of calcium as you're getting old. You need more of vitamin D as you're getting old. And then as men, the weight also increases generally. You have a general increase in weight as you're getting old. There is a likely probability for you to have heart diseases as you're getting old, because you will see that things that your system used to take and it's going to like harmonize it, breaks it down and use it. But because now you're old, your system does not use all of what you're going to consume. So if you consume a lot of sugar, for example, your system does not actually takes the sugar completely because of your age and for the fact that you are less active. And that is why we are encouraging everyone to be more active. So if you're getting old, we're encouraging you to be more active. Yeah, we're encouraging you to be more active, because being more active is going to help you a lot. So men that are above 50, they also have disadvantages like ladies that are above 50, right? That is, you could have bone tenderness due to what, low density in your bone level. That's the calcium levels dropping. You could also have heart diseases. You could also have um, issue with your sugar level. Yes, that's related to diabetes. So it is something that is generally not a good situation. So as you are getting of age, if you're getting to 40, 45, 50, the encouragement is that you should be more active. You should be more active. Don't say that I've worked all the money, I don't need to be active. Please, you should be more active in order to keep these cells intact. If you are less active and you decide to maybe be the president's daughter, president's son, or know that you're going to kill yourself because they will have this accumulated sugar in your system, and obviously you could develop heart diseases, you could develop diabetes. So every other person, whether you're a man or a woman, please make sure you can always be active, especially if you're getting to your 40s, your 50s. That is even when you need that active body cells more than when you are even younger. It could sound ironical, but that's just the truth. Okay, Bliskis, your sister is saying that you should grab her. She'll probably return to you. So we're asking the next question in our discussion, that will symptoms of your sister, your mother, your friends be the same symptoms that you're going to feel during menopause? Can someone answer that question, please? Yes or no? Do you think your friend's symptoms, your sister's symptoms will be the same? Do you think that it will be the same symptoms you are going to feel? So if your sister felt a lot of maybe heat, that is the hot flash, excuse me. If she felt hot flash too much, do you think you're going to feel it the same? Or if she had bone tenderness too much, do you think you're going to feel the same? Please let us know with a yes or no. Do you think that symptoms of menopause will be the same as that of your mom, or that of your sister, or that of your friend? Please let us know in the comment section. Let us know in the chat, please. Bliskis, I don't understand your question. I don't know. What question are you asking, please? Bliskis, you're asking a question? You're asking a question, please. What's the question? So we are saying that the symptoms will not be the same. Okay. Yeah, the symptoms will not be the same. The system will not be the same. Your system's symptoms of menopause will not be the same as yours. Your friend's symptoms of menopause will not be the same as yours. Okay, thank you, Sister Amanda. Thank you. Yeah, it's a no. So the next point we are going to talk, the next point we are going to discuss here is on how will you know that you are experiencing menopause if you have hysterectomy. Sister Janet, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you so much. So if you have hysterectomy, how will you know? How will you know that you are actually at menopause? How will you know that? So that's the next point of discussion. So before we discuss that, I would like us to understand a little bit about hysterectomy. Is there anyone with an idea about hysterectomy? What is hysterectomy? What do you understand by hysterectomy? Is there anyone with an idea about hysterectomy? So this is the 9 point on our major points here, points that we should consider as ladies about menopause. So this next point, we are trying to answer the question, how will you know that you're actually at menopause if you had hysterectomy? How will you know that you're actually at menopause if you had hysterectomy? How will you know? Yeah, Sister Janet, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning. Sister Janet, can you help us with that question, with that answer? Sister Steph, welcome. Good morning to you, and Happy New Year as well. Thank you very much for tuning. So we're asking, how will you know that you have hysterectomy? How will you know that you're at menopause if you had hysterectomy? That's our next point of discussion. Okay. So actually, hysterectomy is a removal of your womb. That is the surgical removal of your uterus. So if your uterus is surgically removed, that is hysterectomy. So you have your yeah, it's okay. Hysterectomy, it's okay. Yeah, I just wanted you both to tell me how what do you understand by it, just so that okay, it means this. Nonetheless, hysterectomy means surgical removal of your womb, of your uterus. So when your uterus is surgically removed, that's hysterectomy. So if the uterus is removed, how will you know that you are experiencing menopause? So that is a question that needs to be answered. So how will you know that you're experiencing menopause if your uterus has been removed? So this is something that you all need to take attention. So if your womb has been removed or your uterus has been removed, it will be difficult for you to know that you're actually experiencing menopause. Yeah, it will be difficult. It will be difficult. But the most likely symptom for you to know that you are experiencing menopause would be hot flash. You now see that this hot flash is something that once you have it, it's really signifying that you are really experiencing menopause. And many ladies actually feel a lot of difficulties during hot flashes because hot flash is not good. Just imagine you just suddenly have some heat in your body, so hot flash is not really good. So, but that's it. As ladies, you need to prepare for this and know that that is how it is. So, when your uterus has been removed, the more likely symptom that you will get for menopause is hot flash, and it will be difficult for you to know that you're actually experiencing menopause. So it will be difficult. That's for sure. It will be difficult. But the more likely symptom you're going to get is hot flash. The next thing that we are going to talk about menopause is we're going to if hormone therapy is a safe treatment for menopause, if hormone therapy is a safe treatment for menopause. For those who are just joining, probably you were not from the start where we discussed about hormone therapy. Yeah, thank you very much. Spice it up. Thank you so much. So hormone actually is are chemicals in your body, and for ladies, you have a lot of hormones in your body, and the reproductive cycle alone contains a lot of these chemicals, these hormones. These chemicals, they are in your body to either stimulate the production of something else, or they themselves work and help you towards one or two functions of your system, especially for the reproductive cycle. You know, today we are talking about two major hormones that are responsible for menopause, and these hormones are estrogen and progesterone. So these two major hormones are responsible for menopause. It therefore means if you see them dropping drastically, there is that probability that you are actually experiencing menopause, or you are at menopause, or you're about to experience menopause. Sister Steph, honey in pregnancy doesn't have a problem. The problem is you consuming. The problem is you consuming. Within my community, and I believe your community as well, there is that notion about consuming some type of things during pregnancy. And I will encourage everyone, if mentally you think that this is not good for me, unless it's a drug that's given to you don't take it, okay? And mentally you think that it's not good for you, don't take it. So if you have that fear, if you think about it, you have the fear of taking, please don't take it. All right, don't take it. But it has nothing to do. Yeah, there's no problem. It has no problem. Yeah, I think I even made a post on this on my Facebook page. Check it out. I mean, tell you what as well to talk about this consuming honey when you're pregnant. Yes. But within my community and many other communities that I know of, people don't consume some certain type of things. They say that it could affect the pregnancy, and with that, you need to respect somebody's mentality, the way somebody feels as well. So you don't have to push it. Once the mentality is telling you, don't do this, don't do this, it's not also good to proceed. So we're talking about hormone therapy, if it is a safe way of actually um, treating these menopausal symptoms. Yes, so it's actually a safe treatment. Hormone therapy is a safe treatment. That's what we should take. Hormone therapy is a safe treatment. Normally, when you have a whole lot of these issues, and hormone therapy will be suggested for you, and your doctor will explain to you how you'll be given. Like I said, we have 5 major hormones of the reproductive cycle. That is progesterone, follicle stimulating hormone, LH hormone, estrogen hormone, prolactin hormone. So all of these hormones, they work in one way or the other. The estrogen helps in egg production, so you have the follicle stimulating hormone producing it, and without the estrogen hormone, you will see that this egg may not be produced at all, because the work of follicle stimulating hormone is to stimulate the follicle just to produce this hormone, and to produce your egg, sorry, that's your ovum. And now the work of your progesterone hormone is to thicken the endometrium, is to thicken the walls of the uterus. such that baby can stay in your womb. That is why when you're pregnant, if you do your progesterone hormones, it will be up there. So estrogen and progesterone, these are two major hormones that are directly related when we are talking about this topic, that is menopause. So menopause, when you have all of these major signs that are actually disturbing you, then you can obviously have hormone therapy. It will be safe for you to take your hormone therapy, but you have to do this with a qualified doctor to give you hormone therapy. Hormone therapy, you don't just take hormone therapy like that. It's replacement of your hormones. Okay, it's after it has been ascertained that this hormone is down, like really, really down. So you need to take another hormone to balance it up. So you take hormone therapy to balance up maybe the lost hormone that you have. Excuse me. So the next thing, which will be our final point on the things that you should take note about menopause, is can we use other treatment apart from hormonal treatment? So if you have if you attain menopause and you're having these major signs of menopause, major signs and symptoms that are really troubling you, and maybe for one or two reasons you cannot take the hormone replacement therapy, are there other things that you can take apart from hormone replacement therapy? So the best thing you can do is to improve on your lifestyle. That's the best thing you can do. So we have lifestyle changes that has to do with you actually making sure that you can maybe reduce your weight to bring it down, because during this time you probably have weight gain, so you need to make sure that you can work on your weight to moderate the way you're losing weight. Oh, Sister Janet, really, um, you experienced the whole show from start to finish. So what you will be doing will be you will be trying to see how you can control your weight, how you can control your weight. So you exercise, do regular exercises, regular exercises. You also try to be in a room that the temperature is a little bit down, because due to hot flash you have increase in temperature. So you'll try to be in a room that, or the best thing is you should look for a fan. Look for a fan. So if you are within Cameroon and you live in Douala, live in Moyoka, live in Banga, live in Kongsamba, all those places, Kumba, that are very hot, yeah, you probably need a fan. But I know if you're within the northwest, then you might just be okay with it because places are cold. So, but a room fan could help you in this. So having your fan at home when you have this increase in temperature because of this hot flash is very important. So if you have your fan at home, it will really help you for that. So your dressing code too is very important. Your dressing code is is important here. So you have to dress in light cotton clothing. Okay, dress in light cotton clothing. This is to allow air to get into you such that you can actually have good ventilation. You can actually reduce that increase in temperature. Wow. I'm really glad you experienced that processes. So we'll be rounding up and answering questions. We'll be rounding up and answering questions. What you need to take at home is that menopause is a natural process. Okay, as ladies, menopause is natural. So if you start having signs and symptoms of menopause, please, it is natural, it is normal, and it happens to every woman. Okay, it happens to every woman. The only difference will be in terms of your symptoms. Somebody's symptoms may be more severe than yours, but menopause is natural, it's normal, and it happens to every woman. You need to understand, just like what we said, that during this process, your estrogen level and your progesterone level drops. Okay, because of this drop, you are at risk of experiencing conditions like osteoporosis or cardiovascular disease. Osteoporosis has to do with osteoporosis has to do with this calcium level, because when you have a drop in calcium level, your bone will be tender. It therefore means the density of your bone, it becomes lighter than usual. So these are all issues with menopause. So menopause is normal, it's natural, every woman goes through it. Next is that during this period you have a drop in estrogen, you have a drop in your progesterone level. Following menopause, you might be at risk of certain conditions like the osteoporosis or cardiovascular diseases. So this is what you need to know about menopause for today. If you have a question, please, you go ahead and ask a question. If not, we'll be saying goodbye. Sister Janet, any question? Sister Stephanie, any question? Sister Amanda, any question? Spice it up, any question? Bliskis, any question from you? Amanda Sana, any question? So if no question, we'll be rounding up. I'll be making my final remarks. So we've been talking about menopause. We've been talking about menopause, and we'll be looking at some of major points involved in menopause. We'll be looking at some of the major points involved in menopause, and we have mentioned 11 of these points. Just to reiterate that menopause is actually cessation of menstruation for 12 months, and you have to be 12 months consecutively. Okay, so if you are at menopause, you should have cessation of your menstruation for 12 months consecutive. During menopause, you will experience some of signs and symptoms of it, and some of these signs could be hot flash, that is sudden increase in temperature, which you have heat in your body, and this at times could be disturbing, but make sure you always talk with your doctor. You follow your healthcare providers information and how to deal with it. Wow, Sister Yvette, welcome. You joined me today. This is beautiful. You're coming when I'm concluding, and this topic is very important. Anyway, you could as well watch this video after this. So we we have been talking about menopause. We have been talking about uh, what are those things that you need to know about menopause. And we said menopause is a session of menstruation for at least 12 months. And we said during menopause, you probably have some of the major signs of it, which are hot flash, that is sudden increase in heat or sudden increase in temperature. You probably have bone tenderness as well. Bone tenderness due to reduction in calcium, because you have reduction in calcium at this time. Then we've also mentioned that menopause is natural. Every other lady will go through menopause. So you should not experience menopause and start thinking that, oh, maybe it's witchcraft or something. No, it has nothing to do with witchcraft. It's just something that is normal. But we have been saying here, the major thing for you to do, please, your exercise. Make sure you do exercises and make sure that you can actually feed well, balanced diet, take a lot of calcium. As ladies, as you're getting to your 40s, understand that this is real and you have to build yourself and prepare for that by eating well, making sure that you do a lot of exercises in order to balance this up. I think with this, you're going to you're going to like catch it up, and you'll see that attaining menopause for you will not be that maybe difficult as compared to other people. I really do appreciate all of you being here. May God bless you all. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to share out this video, and for all those who will be watching after, don't forget to share us out as well. Thank you. Do have a wonderful time.